Yes, yes. Afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're managing. Hope you are as a civilization. How we doing? We all right? Big hi to Katie Jane Swallow as well. Children's Matter.news. Also, a big hello to everyone tuning in, whether you're tuning in now, tomorrow, retrospectively, whatever, in the future, in history. You're babbling, Phil. Hello there, guys. Welcome along. This was quite a spontaneous stream, really. I'd just come home and I'd seen an article via Sky News. Yes, we have people in the building. Hello there, guys. Hello. And yeah, Sky News Australia, I seen a segment where they were talking about a certain bill that Boris, the raggedy-headed muppet, is bringing up. And the Houses of Lords have got in on it to scrutinise it. Now, why it's there in the first place is beyond me. It seems very dystopian. It's a weird concept. Yes, how we doing, Yorkie pudding? Yes, where's your mate, roast beef? So yeah, we know what kind of world we're living in. Surveillance is the norm. When they turn the scope back on the people, and we know it goes on, anyone who's remotely astute knows it goes on in everyday life. It's not even a thing anymore. It's not a tinfoil hat conspiracy. What is amazing, how we actually just carry on and function knowing that these instruments are being used against the populations rather than to be used against foreign enemies, which is supposedly what the public would be appeased if they found out that that's what it was being used for. But to find out it's being used against the public, and not only that, your children are being used as what's classed as an instrument. Yes, everyone. Yes, Emma, how we doing? Roger, how we doing? Yes, Gerald. Yes, Katie. Good afternoon, peeps. I hope you're all right. Yes, you made it. Made it. All we need is the mighty McTavish. Where's McTavish? Is he going to waltz in late again? He probably will, won't he? Bless him. But it's a very strange world. And yes, Jimmy. Yeah, mate, keeping the faith, bro, keeping the faith. And Jimmy, listen, I know you've been trying to contact me through Facebook, through the comment section. And I do apologise because it does appear that it won't let me gain access to that comment section now. So I can't see what you've written in the links, and that goes to anyone else who's tried to contact me through the Facebook. I don't know what's going on. It's the usual stuff, and whether it's done on purpose, whether it's just me not set it up properly, I don't know. But that's where we're at. So sorry about that. Stuck with us now. We're all stuck in the same trough, aren't we? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You got to just try and get your head around what's going on, but at the same time, empower yourself as to the decisions that you can then make with that knowledge in place. Even if you're watching everyone around you just milk into it just kind of amalgamate into this surveillance world and actually love it. It's scary to think that not many people are saying too many things about certain elements of this. And this bill is, and it's been going a while. Let me explain. The bill, from what I've seen, I've got a PDF which I'll bring up. This was first proposed in 2017, or at least this document is 2017/2009, right? This article that I'd seen on Sky News Australia was only the other day. Okay. So we're talking 8 years. Well, no, what are we talking about? We're talking 2 to 3 years. Yeah, 4 years. Where this has been going on. Now, from what I can gather with this document, when it was first brought up as a useful instrument, it was only supposed to be required for 1 month, i.e., if they chose a certain child to have as an asset or be their asset, then they would have a month to work with them in order to collate what information, intel. What Sky News Australia is now saying is that what Boris is proposing in the new amendment to it, instead of them having the child for a month, they would have them for 4 months because of the logistical problems it creates when they've only got them for a month. Basically, that's what this document's saying. Not on the efficacy on using and grooming young kids to spy on their parents, affiliators, friends, family. Not the efficacy on what that would do to the psyche of the child and the family nucleus family. You know, what kind of a family background would you have if we're all snitching on one another? If you're being groomed by an external source to do so, that has got to be one of the most scariest things. I mean, relationships in families are hard enough anyway, but you input with a little kid and a young kid that something's going on in your family and just keep an eye out on your parents, when in some cases it may be justified that something is going on, but still it's unethical for you to do that. But in some cases with this bill, who's to say that they're not going to use it more casually? So we don't know. So before we get into it, I'm going to do the usual, saying hello to everyone. How you doing? Welcome along. This is Red Pill Phil on YouTube. Red Pill Phil. Red Pill Phil. Red Pill Phil. Red Pill Phil. Right, okay. This is what initially sparked me off. And no doubt, maybe a lot of you have already seen this. If you have, I apologise, but I'm just covering it anyway. Many topics covered on here. But I don't watch too much TV. I don't watch too much news because there's that much BS and there's that much low frequency information. See you later, babes. That it's probably wise just to live your life with the ethos that you see fit. And that's what I choose to do, and try and be creative through all this crap instead of soaking it all in. However, information is good. And this enlightened me to a certain thought process. So I'm going to play it now. Hopefully the sound will be loud and clear, but we'll listen to this report and then we'll go to the document that I've discovered when I heard this.
Anyway, according to the UK Telegraph newspaper, Boris Johnson faces a major Tory revolt this week over plans to allow children to be used as spies by state agencies against their parents. Ian Duncan Smith, the former Tory leader, and David Davis, the former Brexit secretary, are among the Tory MPs backing rebel proposals to restrict the use of children as spies when the Covert Human Intelligence Source Bill returns to the Commons. My God. Mr. Davis told the Telegraph the government faces a major backlash if it pushes ahead with this plan. Everyone I've spoken to has been horrified by it when it has been explained to them, Davis said. It will allow 16 and 17-year-olds to spy on their parents. It also authorizes them to commit crimes as well. So it needs to be extremely tightly controlled, and those controls need to be greater than what the government is proposing. Joining me now is Brendan O'Neill, editor of Spiked Online, which...
Just to break in there, they need to be monitored and tightly controlled. You don't do it. You don't turn 16 and 17-year-olds, never mind the maturity of that said 16 or 17-year-old, against the parents. That's brown shirt material, surely. So we're living under real Stasi system, but right in your face. Now, if that's not a Wizard of Oz moment, I don't know what is. What's weird about this is that this seems to be happening. Not many people are really getting too concerned about it. And life is just cracking on. So it does make you think that on an incremental level, the raggedy-headed muppet here who come in on his blazing white horse because he was a saviour over Brexit has now started to show a more draconian side than fucking Mussolini. Pardon my French.
Shall I urge you to visit and to subscribe to? Brendan, great to see you, mate. How are you?
Hi, Rowan. I'm good, thanks.
Now, you won't be going in any shark-infested waters, but over at the Commons there it's looking pretty grim. You've long warned, Brendan, against the increasing totalitarianism of the modern left. But did you ever think in your lifetime you'd see a British government encouraging kids to spy on their parents?
It's pretty shocking. Boris Johnson has been a fairly disappointing Prime Minister so far, especially on issues of liberty, the issue on which he made his name to a large extent. And as you were saying, this Covert Human Intelligence Bill allows for some pretty shocking things, including encouraging or recruiting 16 and 17-year-olds, legally children, to spy on their parents and to commit crimes in the process of spying on their parents if there's a strong suspicion that their parents are up to no good. This is really dodgy. Now, everyone accepts the needs for covert human intelligence. We need spies. We need to break up terrorist groups and do lots of other things like that too. But I think recruiting children to watch their own families, spy on their own families, there's something quite Orwellian about that. Let's not forget that 1984 had child spies in it whose job was to spy on the adults of society and make sure they weren't doing anything bad. We shouldn't be doing the same thing in the UK.
What are they supposed to be spying on? What are they saying? Oh, you're not wearing your mask, or oh, you got dad sat too close to Gran on the sofa. What are they supposed to be spying on?
Well, it's interesting you raised that question. So this bill would be to spy on people who are suspected of fairly serious crimes, drug dealing, maybe terrorism, things that obviously no one should be doing. But what's really interesting is the left in this country is actually quite critical of this bill. But the left, of course, supports children spying on their parents as well. There have been numerous campaigns over the past few years where children have been encouraged to watch their parents' environmental behaviour and to report them to schools if their parents aren't being eco-friendly. Or, children are... there's a new bill going through in Scotland which would make it potentially a crime to commit hate speech in your own home, which openly encourages children to squeal their parents to the police if they are Islamophobic or transphobic or whatever else. So what we have now is both the right and the left in different ways support children spying on their own families. It's really dodgy stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Now, Brendan, you mentioned enviro craziness. Two of my favourite topics together. Britain this week is shivering under Arctic-style conditions, all because of global warming, of course, but the COVID police are running around fining people for throwing snowballs. Is this what they call the snowflake police? Brendan.
But it's completely crazy. The first thing that's fun, I'm looking out my window now and the whole all outside of my apartment is covered in snow. And it always brings to mind a climate expert in the year 2000 who said that children in Britain would never see snow again. They wouldn't know what snow was. And now there are kids outdoors making snowmen, throwing snowballs. So the global warming stuff is completely
Bullshit, I think his last words was, but we'll carry on with this. But same again, 21st century, the human psyche, you're telling children that it is naughty to engage in frolicking in the snow. The one thing that they may have when you're depressing the frigging bejesus out of them, telling them that their whole world has got to change. Let them go out with a sledge, with their own bubble, and have some fun. But no, you can't even let them do that. So what do? You put it out in press releases that anyone caught throwing snowballs, you're going to give them £200 fines. Are you for fucking real? Pardon my French. I'm not being funny. It's a good job, right, that no policeman wanted to instill that here whilst the snow was here for all the 10 minutes that it was. As I'd have made sure there was a fucking gang of kids on the other side of the street ready to do some damage to them with them snowballs. And I'm only talking about snowballs. I'm not talking about the yellow snowballs. And I'm not talking about the one where you'd slip a little rock inside of it either. We're talking about honest snow play frolicking. This is so Orwellian where how can a policeman clamp down on a kid because they're throwing snowballs, because they shouldn't be out, or who are they with and why are you there, and why you shouldn't be standing still there for two. What kind of a bloody world is this? This is normalized. This is normalized. You've got your kids now that they'll get fined for throwing snowballs, but you tell me what your mother and father are doing. What the fuck is going on here? Pardon my French.
Wrong, as usual. But also, as you say, we have this new cult of miserablism and authoritarianism where people are now being told and warned, don't go outside and make snowmen, don't throw snowballs, because they aren't on the list of legal, reasonable excuses that you can leave your house. I mean, it's just deranged. You know, a small group of kids throwing snowballs is not going to spread the virus, but we live in such an authoritarian climate that people are going crazy about it anyway.
Well, same again. But a microbiologist that come out not so long back and he started saying that this has got to be a contrived virus for the simple fact that the way it's mutated in all the different countries, if it was an organic virus, the temperature would be a key factor as to how it has spread. So the fact that in different key countries where you've got temperature variations, but yet the same outcome in all of them, you're not going to get the same outcome, what he's saying, in a desert as you would do in a fucking polar ice cap. But no, apparently. So there's something very contrived about this. And I just don't believe it now. I don't believe it. I'm in my own little bubble. I come home from work. I do what I do. But this is a man that we initially wanted in because Theresa May was fucking it up. Pardon French. Bring back the May. For all the faults. And for whatever her dad or her granddad was up to, you know what I mean? I'm not being funny. But this is the most draconian Prime Minister we have ever had. And that's not counting fucking Tony Blair. And I just can't believe how this raggedy-headed muppet is getting this liberal policy to spread round where people are going to buy into it. People are actually going to think, if I catch my neighbour throwing a snowball, I'm going to report them to the police. What the hell? Are we in the 21st century? Or has time gone back to the days of dictatorship? But yet, in a totally modern system, it's like two paintings colliding. Are we an old oil painting or are we new contemporary? Because it seems the old system, the draconian system that we should have left long behind and let people prosper, is still trapped within the contemporary fucking painting. But yet, people are going, well, this is modern, this is new, I like this.
Just quickly, Brendan, in your excellent editorial in Spiked Online this week, you write how America is saved.
Well, it's not. We'll get that, you know, that's that. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say I'm wound up here. I'm shocked. I'm shocked in a sense. They'll even target your bloody kids. They don't care. They don't care. Yes, KY Brown. And I bet that was weird for you. Oh, man. Right. So, this, shouldn't be shocked. I'm just shocked that people are more worried about driving round in their own car, right? In their own car. I seen a woman the other day. I was going to the shop, and this shop is not asked whether I wear a mask or not. And they've had the police in there, but they're on a level. They're not stupid. They don't want the business to die. They don't want to be draconian with every fucker that comes through that door. So they put the relevant signs up, but in a sense, they're not asked. I'm not going to identify them. I'll love them down to the ground because, believe me, that's the shop that's getting my business. Even if I'm paying more than a supermarket because of the efficacy and the common sense and the morals of what they're saying. So I was going to the shop and I'm walking past this car and I just looked down, she's parked up. Some lady with an overcoat on, no biggie, sat in the car, it's bloody freezing. She's got a mask on and she's got a pair of how you can best describe them as marigolds. A blue pair of fucking marigolds. And she's driving a car, she grabs a gear stick, boom, she's off on her own. On her own in a car. And I think I can blame her all I want. We can call them sheeple, we can call them zombies, or what you want. And that might make me feel better because I feel I'm a bit more intellectually superior. No, I feel what motherfuckers for them to do that to that woman. To make that woman feel that that is a rational thing to do in the 21st century, the 1st of fucking February. This is where we're at. How do you get that woman to take them gloves off, take that mask off and live a normal life ever again? Ain't gonna happen, is it? Ain't gonna happen. If that was my mother, she ain't gonna want to come near me. Probably my views of chill out and the playing the fair thing, she'd probably disown me within a minute. We've already spoke to people that have gone through that, where the parents have told the kids to stay away. So I look at this and it's getting more Orwellian and draconian as time goes on, where there's going to be no coming back from this. It's only going to change society. It's only going to be justified, which will in turn get people fighting against each other on this, because some will choose the government line because they can't not see anything that the government is doing other than positive and for the good of the people. And you've got some on the other side that will think that anything that the government is now doing is so draconian on an incremental level, it's leading us off a bridge. It's where we're at. It's where we're at. We had our lockdown lifted today, Isle of Man. I'm just back from shops over here in 90% that were wearing masks today, all grateful for being allowed to breathe again. Right, okay, so let's get into this. Right. This is what I'd seen post looking at that Sky News Australia article. That article in question was only a few days ago. This goes right back to initially, I'm assuming, when they first had the plan. Now, from what this is, this seems to be a committee consisting in the House of Lords what scrutinised the initial plan. Draft Investigatory Powers Codes of Practice Miscellaneous Amendments Order 2018. Regulation of Investigatory Powers, brackets, Juvenile Amendment Order 2018. Then it goes on there about the what it was all set up for, who's in it and whatnot. And I think it's somewhere. So, covert human intelligence sources, that's the title, and basically includes material on the use of juvenile human covert human intelligence sources. That's your kids. That's your kids. The order proposes to extend the period for which a person under 18 years of age can be used by KISS or CHISH. From 1 month to 4 months, while the government state that the rationale for the change is that 1 month authorities for juvenile increases pressure on critics. In other words, they're saying that they can't get the job done within the 1 month period. But nothing is saying that this is actually right and you can actually, you should be doing this. So same again, it's almost like this is what they regard as an instrument to fight what? Drug crime? Terrorism, you know. Do you like the fact that your kid is now a bass string or a guitar pluck or a drumstick? Or maybe a fucking flute? How do you feel about your kid potentially, not saying you as in by me saying you that means that you must be a drug dealer, you must be, no, because as we know, that to me is the Trojan horse justification to allow this to happen. That doesn't mean to say that every case where this instrument will be applied and your guitar string of a son or daughter is now going to be an asset. It doesn't mean to say that every case is going to be for drug dealing, for terrorism, does it? Because it's going to be ambiguous. We know that that is a certain guideline, but they'll fudge it. And if you get the go-ahead to use this, then it's a question of anyone goes against the government narrative. If they sufficiently start talking about, listen to this, which they've done, if they sufficiently start to put it out there that people that think anti-government narrative establishment, if they can promote to the average liberalist that these people are so-called domestic terrorists, then under this, that means that your kids could then be an asset, a guitar pluck, fucking guitar string, a flute, a triangle, a bloody bagpipe for these guys. And not only that, like we were saying in the article before, your kid could be justified to commit crimes. Now, what's the crime? I mean, stealing a sweet from a shop is a no-no. You tell your kids not to do that. What type of crimes are they prepared for your children to be committing? And let's put it this way. If your kid commits a crime because it's a guitar string for the establishment, what happens if consequences come down on your child because this is covert human intelligence sourcing? So what happens if they're dead wood then? What happens if, as a result of them committing a crime, they get injured? or they even get killed? Are the family going to be notified that they were a guitar pluck before this event happened? Or are they going to drop the identity of this guitar pluck and pretend that they never knew anything about them? Same again, when I see someone in their own car with a mask on, in a small car as well. Not that a bigger car is more likely to getting COVID on your own, but in a small car with a mask on, middle-aged lady, and a pair of blue marigold gloves. Knowing the logic, the rationale, shows the fear. So if they can exacerbate that fear, like they've shown with COVID, they can exacerbate the need for this. It's a done deal, isn't it? It's a done deal. So basically, that's it. They wanted to lengthen the time, and they'll probably get it. But I don't see the Lords talking. I mean, you heard one of them there that was speaking about greater controls. Not one of them, what I can see, said that you should not be doing this in the first place. The fact that you are even bringing this up as a possibility means that we are going down an Orwellian route of mass proportions. Surely. Surely. Right, I'll tell you now, if anyone comes on here putting the letters 14 and FNAT, you're gone, okay? You're on that roller skate and you're going to be slid out of here that quick that your feet won't touch the ground. I'm telling you, okay? With all the shit that we've got going on in the world that's affecting every human being, we don't need people coming on with that, okay? If that's your opinion, you're welcome to it. Just don't be bringing it to me. I don't want it. My channel don't want it. My comment section don't want it. If I see it, I'm going to block it and you're out of here. 13 and 15 is absolutely fine. Sweet 16, number 22 is the sweet one. So you can go 22 all over the place, yeah? 22 all over the place. But I think we know the significance of the number 14, and I'm not entertaining it. I'm not giving up my time to have a load of people chatting that buggery on here, okay? What we're talking about now is far more reaching than a talking point like that. And if they're not intellectual enough to see that, then see you later. Mate, you don't want to know what it means. It's something about the existence of white people, and it's like, really? How about every man, woman, and child is being scummed at this moment in time? So are you going to diversify your skin tone? How about I sit here and diversify my skin tone then? No, I'm a protectionist over humanity. I'm not a protectionist over the skin tone. So as much as I'm going to disagree with your Black Lives Matter, yeah, and getting every fucker to go on a knee, I'm going to talk to these guys with exactly the same amount of vigor. They're counterproductive to society if that's the way you're thinking. And it's really not on. And I can understand why you may want to go down them lines, but we're all humanity, okay? I'm not that negative and I'm not that concentrated towards a demographic. I love people. You can't love people when you've got such a concentrated, focused drive in one direction like that. You can't. The two things can't mix. And you might have the odd black friend, but bottom line is you're walking the street and you might see the behavior of someone. We know where you're going to go with your mindset because of that. So, no, we're not having it. Emma, it's all about meine Führer, yeah? It's all about saying Hitler was right. It's all about Holocaust denying, and it's all about proclaiming indigenous rights in this country, which then gives people reverse reparations. And I can understand the exacerbation. I totally get it. But I'm a human being. You're a human being. And Emma, it looks like you're a paler complexion than me. So there's no way I'm now going to go all pro-black on you because of that. Just like I would not want you to go all pro-white on me. It's counterproductive. We're not going to get anywhere. And that is probably one of the reasons why on a pie chart, the 99% is so divvied up that getting that 99% to have a shared truth is a joke. Almost a joke. Yes, my daughter is half Jamaican, beautiful, sending love. Well, I'm just being honest. I've seen it there, and I've seen it pop up once or twice before, and it's not on. It's not on. This ain't one of them streams where you come on and you start spitting all your bigotry and all your bullshit. We love people on here. We love people. I played a tune. I done a remix to Aaliyah the other day, and I was pretty disappointed with some of the comments on there, particularly one that was talking about all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going there now, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be a lover of people and profess that we're all going to be there. When I show a black face on there, it turns the mood sour. Seriously, if she was beautiful, if she was talented, then that's the way it was. It was a shame what happened. But I will criticize the far left agenda. I will strongly criticize the negative elements within black society. At the same time, as a black individual, I couldn't be more any proud of my heritage, where I come from, both on my black side and on my white side. So that 14 business just doesn't make any sense. It's low grade, it's low energy, and you're not going to get anywhere with it. You're not going to have constructive, loving relationships with that kind of mentality. If you don't want to see that, then that's your business. So, yes. How you doing, pal? Right, let's crack on. Where was we? What shall we have now? Right, let's have a little look at. I'm sure there was something else. Yes, there was, wasn't there? Where is it? Oh, where's that document? Yeah, it's here. Right, I'm gonna. You know what? The way it's going now, right? I'm kind of want to denounce my freaking citizenship here at this point. Only because he's getting that Orwellian, he's getting that on top, that I don't really see myself as a happy citizen anymore. And particularly when I see stories like this, right? Peruvian court ruling, pandemic created by Bill Gates, George Soros, and the Rockefeller family. Music to my goddamn ears, right? You're not seeing raggedy-headed Muppet coming out saying that. You're not seeing Mr. Wancock coming out saying that. In fact, they're doing the opposite, aren't they? So this is beautiful, that not everywhere in the world is capitulating. So it makes me think, you know what? It's time for me to give up my citizenship. I don't know whether I'm a UK citizen anymore. I don't know. I'm sure I'm a descendant of Peruvian stock. That's the way I see it. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I've got Inca in my blood. I can fucking prove it if I need to. I can prove it. Right. So that bit's covering it there. The world's greatest destiny. Bill Gates, George Soros, and the Rockefeller family were charged by a Peruvian court with responsibility for creating the coronavirus. The resolution came as a surprise, as it was based on one of the many conspiracy theories surrounding COVID-19 that swirl daily on social media. In its decision, the Chicha and the Pisco Criminal Appeals Chamber said the pandemic was the invention of a criminal elite around the world made up of billionaires such as Soros, Gates, and Rockefeller, among others. Thus, the court justified delay by issuing a ruling on the appeal of the accused, who sought the abolition of preventative detention at, sorry, my eyes are going, 50 years of age, and whose permission was postponed due to the pandemic. And then it says about the judges, the world government, individuals or legal entities, nor the defense of the accused can claim that this pandemic has a quality of foresight, except for the creators of the New World Order. Boom, there's my Peruvian blood boiling, such as Bill Gates, Soros, Rockefeller, etc. Because the list must be long. The magistrates in a resolution posted, and yeah, in a particular document, city financial investors are Rockefeller family billionaires whom he accuses of managing and continuing to direct the virus into the New World Order. Get on that. So I'm playing the panpipes, mate. I am Peruvian. I'm gonna be over there. I'm gonna be there. Look, I'm with these. I'm with them. I'm gonna be in Machu Picchu. Red pill, Machu Picchu. This sounds better than Boris already. Don't know about them hats, so I don't know whether I could wear it at, to be fair. I don't know whether I could wear it at. I might have to change it up a little bit. Yes, them pipes. I might do a remix for them pipes now. I might go back to my Peruvian roots and get some Peruvian funk going down. Let's do it. Let's make Machu Picchu our new home. You know what I mean? The Incas, they got away and they evaded Cortez and his merry men, the conquistadors, didn't they? By fucking off up the mountains to Machu Picchu. No one knew they were there. Why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Away from Bill Gates, Soros, Black Lives Matter, bloody Wancock, Boris, Biden. Man, all these leaders, we could be in Machu Picchu, rocking it. I could bring me little controller, someone bring a cool box, we'll have some little bits of snacks and whatnot. We'll have a rave, someone bring some little glow sticks, you know what I mean? Well, let's get it rocking. Bring something luminous. Have it. I'm Peruvian. Last of the Mohicans. I've grabbed my coat. Come on, Rob. Come on. Me and you, we're off. Machu Picchu. I don't know whether I can get up there on my bike, but I'll give it a bloody good go. Seriously. Yes. Well, listen, you let me know, mate. You keep me posted on developments like that, honestly, because we're waking up. People are waking up. The depression and the way it's making people feel is acting as a a wake-up call to a lot of people. The problem that you've got, people don't realise that they've got the fight. So there's a lot of subdued people that know that this is fucked up in so many different ways, but don't see how they can fight. If only they knew that the sheer number of people who feel like that means that you've already won the fight. You sat in your house thinking the same as most of the fucking planet, pardon my French. So you've already won the fight in the mind. What you've got to do is drop that fear, get some organisation, some implementations, and cover your ass in contingency after contingency after contingency. We've already got the numbers because we know. Anytime I watch a pro-vaccination video on YouTube, the amount of thumbs down it gets lets me know that more people disagree with it than agree with it, although the propaganda they pump out is that everyone is buzzing and can't wait to get it. Now, that might be the case in terms of nudging people's psychology into getting it. That's where you've got your jab and goes, your Ryanair with the irresponsible adverts, and you've got people convincing you that, you know, you don't get this, don't get that, you get your jab, you'll be all right. Keep coming out with hourly bulletins and how many people are getting jabbed. It makes it normal, doesn't it? But it's not normal. It's come very quickly. The vaccine was made in a weekend compared to the normal protocols, all the regulations that were put in place, that to me, even with the efficacy on vaccines of the past, knowing how dodgy pharmaceutical companies are, the way they've brought the regulations to all work in one. I mean, I never forget Wancock talking about that. He was buzzing that the fact that they've got all the different regulations, instead of having buffers in between, they've brought them all together. That doesn't mean that that's a good thing. Maybe them gaps in between made it a little bit more safe and a little bit more efficient, if that is a derivative. I don't know. There you go. There you go. So this is the silent majority, but we're in North Korea. So even though the silent majority is saying no, 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 they're pumping out propaganda saying yes, yes, yes. And you know what? The population love it. That's all they're doing. For me, because it's clear that there's too many people spoke out, there's too many people waking up, there's too many people, even if you believe totally in it, it's shit scared, know that the implementations is ruining your life, businesses, suicide, it's going on and on. So there's an element of that where people go, well, no, I'm not having this. I've been speaking to many people that are fearful because they put themselves in a vulnerable category, but they're like, no. Even though that is the case, when it comes to vaccinations, pro-choice, and, you know, they don't agree with the lockdown and how it was done. And the fact that you look at other countries now, other countries are making our country look a laughingstock. But are we a laughingstock? Or have we been picked and selected to be one of the countries that's just ramming this agenda through? Yes, that's right, isn't it? That's right. And you can see it. Common sense dictates, see how it's there in front of your face. You know what I mean? So it's not that I don't want to listen to someone who's got a mask on and a pair of blue marigolds, but, you know, I find it hard to totally soak in their point. On a psychological level, I can understand why they've done it. But it's like me walking out. No, I'm not going to say it, but it's like me just doing something totally irrational and then rationalising it and gaslighting you that it's rational for me to do it. You're not going to buy into it, no, would you? You think, man, you're weird. So, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Emma. I'm sorry to hear that. And there was nothing that I would want to do to put you at risk. But then again, you know, we've got to look at the probability of people catching this, and the numbers speak for themselves. Although the propaganda that will tell you that the fear, the cases, when it still comes to probability and actual age group, the health and well-being of individuals in terms of their antibodies in order to fight this, the number's very low. The number's very low when it's been out there circulating for months about this. But yet the answer is, you know, so no, I wouldn't want anyone to be in a vulnerable position over this. But if you were to ask me what they initially should have done, and I said this at the beginning anyway, it seemed a ball ache at the time to do it, but now looking in hindsight, it was the only thing to do. If you're going to shut the economy and society down on the pretext of 500,000 deaths, got nowhere near that still, and it's like over a year in. So the first lockdown wasn't justified on the pretext of them numbers, never mind the second one. But all that aside, why didn't you uber isolate anyone you felt was vulnerable at that time? To implement that would have been far cheaper than to shut down the economy and put everyone on a fucking dole, make them non-productive, make people lazy bots. What productivity are you going to get someone who's been sat on their ass for a year getting paid? How are they, you know? And I'm self-employed, so I ain't had that luxury. I've been working. If I stay off a day, I don't get paid for that day. So there was no, you know, I've had elements of subsidy in order to, over the lockdown, to subsidise the wages lost. But I've no furlough scheme. There's no sit at home for a week and we're paying you a week's wages. Reality bites. So that's where your average self-employed individual on site are just like me. Common sense as fuck, don't see the bullshit, and you know what? Shit's real, I've got to work. Wife needs clothes, baby needs shoes. So the idea of me sitting at home for a year, yeah, that ain't going to happen. So, you know, you're asking a lot of intellectual people, influential people, career-minded people to sit home and do jack shit for a year. Clever. That's how to get a productive society, isn't it? Jackass. Well, it's working, mate. Even if, let's get non-conspiratorial. Let's assume that this is all just for the best, yeah? And they can't do anything else. It's still going to have the same desired effect. So you don't need a conspiracy. You still got relationship problems that are going to be born from this. People are not going to want to be tactile. Your kid is now going to learn from now on where to have contact, how not to have contact, where they can go, where they've got to stand. Fucking arrows in a supermarket, you know? So even if this was all done, whatever, it's still 10 years of this. You've got a different society. And like I was speaking to lovely lady Yvonne Black, which I must admit, Yvonne Black and the Black family, my heart goes out to what is going on there at the moment. I can only give my love and respect from not only me, Red Pill Phil, but all my affiliates and my family as well. And blessings to you and the family. But I had chatting with her, and we were speaking about this, about the conditioning level and how dangerous it is and how easy it is to condition people into changing their behaviours. And within a month, you can change and recondition people's patterns. So we've had 12 months of this shit, and you can see it. See it. I live my life just normally, but yet I'm not the one I'm blocking all this propaganda, this fear porn. I feel sorry for the people that can't, the people that are not intellectual enough to break through it, the people who are scared stiff that would rather turn on you than believe that this is not right. And that's society we're in. They do that Welsh would they? Right, yeah, they do. Well, you know, I'm not one. Old dog and new tricks, mate. I'm all up for natural evolution of the mind and of the body, of the emotions. We've all got to learn in that sense. I don't want to say I don't change, because you're growing, you're going to change, aren't you? But it's got to be ethical, it's got to be real, it's got to be organic, it's got to be natural. And these changes are nothing but contrived, manipulated, exacerbated. Never let a good crisis go to waste. And how we started this with the surveillance state, and with them literally now using kids as fucking guitar plucks, part of an instrument, you know, drumstick, two brother and sister, pair of drumsticks. You know what I mean? It's all very, very surreal to see it in modern day. And people still turn on their internet TV knowing that the fucking thing is literally grabbing their metadata like it's picking their pocket, and they don't give a shit. And if 5 hours later they're talking about, I don't know, cans of bleeding cat food, and then they've got cat food adverts that pop up, but then it's then looking at your patterns, where you shop, and on your digital monetary system, so where you're spending your money, then pre-predicting where you're most likely to spend your money, then pre-predicting that by, on a sociological level, flicking out adverts to get you pricked in, oh, well, yeah, well, you know what, I was going to buy some of that, so I might as well buy it. This is the psychological tricks that they're using by extrapolating your metadata. So we're being punked, the fucking lot of us. Punked. Well, same again. I was covering that, and where are we? And I've yet to do it in a couple of days' time. So this is a call out to 007, and I think Rob as well. Was it you, Rob, who mentioned about one of your experiences? I'd love you both to come back on. Probably going to do it maybe weekend. So if you keep yourself free, I'll try and do a reminder with the stream, so you know exactly when it's going to come on. But going back to that, what was it about Project Bluebeam? There's been many talk about that, and I don't want that for me to discredit what is disclosure, what is a true phenomenon. And I seen a wave of it coming that, oh, look, they're going to flag a fake alien invasion. So that meant that if there was any footage that then was released, or any footage that anyone filmed of a UFO, you could extrapolate from that world. This is all part of the rollout of the fake alien invasion. And I can't say whether that's true, whether it's not true. There's been false flags, there's been all kinds of stuff, and people have spoke about holograms and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say it's true or not true. What I can say is that I've researched heavily UFOs from the mid-80s, and there's been people that was speaking about it ever since the 40s. And in millennia, people have drawn about it. So it is a real life phenomenon. You talk about ancient civilizations, I would link to say, well, what is their connection with what we can ascertain as higher technology in terms of the way ancient civilizations could build their monuments. These were supposed to be prehistoric people before the fucking wheel. But then you look at the trajectory, you look at the geometry, the trigonometry, and everything that they've done, the stonework. You try to tell me that was slaves pre-wheel? Are you having a laugh? So there's narrative building, which I'm going all around the houses now, but yes, I do believe there's a lot of manipulation, and I believe there's what do they call it? Boom and bust. There'll be a contract. They'll kind of inflate, deflate information. I'm fully aware of that. However, the phenomena is real, so I take it seriously. All the answers are there. Yes. You're right. You're right. And because people are lost, because people believe in the system in which we live in, and in many ways the system works in very many ways. The NHS is a beautiful idea. The NHS has got beautiful individuals within it, so I can't castigate the whole system. However, we know we've got individuals within it that have have ripped it off over the years. I've took it as their own business and kind of got power hungry within it. And there's been plenty of failings and cover-ups within that as well. But same again, I can't say I want to go out and clap for the NHS, but I can't say I want to disband the NHS either. So I'm in that quagmire where I'm in the fucking middle with it. You know what I mean? Nephilim. Are we talking about giants there? Because, mate, I could do a video on that. I'm sure that's what that's referring to, innit? Man, it's a big wide world. And there's shit go on in. And I don't want to divert from the what is going on. And this is not like, oh, Phil's moved away from... No, it's not. I'm trying to expand. Instead of us being totally on the propaganda on a minute-by-minute basis, that is low energy within itself. I've gone, fuck this, I'm shooting right out the stratosphere and I'm kind of coming back in on an interplanetary level, if that makes any sense. So I'm going right out on the bigger question and then just kind of focusing back in like a goddamn satellite. Yes, the Anunnaki, mate, honestly. So I could do videos on that. Mesopotamia, all that stuff. Man, I love it. I love it. And that gives you more food for thought than what's going on now. And looking at that and building that and rebuilding the narrative, as shit as it is, when you find out that there's a lot, they were a lot more technological than we put them up for back then. There was a lot more going on than we can prepare to acknowledge back then. When you do that, it's humbling. Because it makes you think that, you know what, I might have a mobile phone, but we as a civilization ain't jack shit. But we're, pardon my French, but we're arrogant enough to think that we're the top of the tree. We actually think that we're the most intelligent species that God's ever produced. Are you having a goddamn laugh? And I'm sorry to use the Lord's name in vain there, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen too much stuff go on in. So yeah, I want to expand, me. I want to expand. I'm sick of Boris and his raggedy-headed crap. And it's not that I've left it alone by any means, but I'm sick of it. I can't survive around fear porn. I've got to expand my mind. Watched the good doc on the Anunnaki the other day. Yes, mate. Yeah. Changing the subject. NHS sold us out. We've been left in the lurch, but same again, there'll be beautiful people within the NHS. So as much as I castigate what's going on and the nefarious workings that's going on within some corridors within the NHS, yeah, I totally agree with you. I know there's some beautiful people that are nurses, that are janitors, that are doctors, whatever, you know what I mean, clinical staff, you know, whatever, that are trying to do the right thing. And they'll be trapped within the system as well. They'll be feeling like us. The system that is the NHS is not working how it's supposed to be. I'm being told to not say this about that. I've been told to keep that quiet. So there'll be failings. There will be. We will not live in fear, Phil. Drink to that, Carol. Drink to that. And I was saying this to someone the other day, and I'm going to get going shortly, but I hope you've enjoyed the stream. But you can either live in fear or live your life. What do you want to do? I would rather live my life. If I lived in fear, I wouldn't leave my house. If I lived in fear that there's a likelihood of me getting run over, I would have to wear a suit of armour when I cross the road. Or even worse still, when I'm walking up the street. Because we live in the land of PC now, we live in the land of mitigation. So as a risk assessment, but I don't. I should technically, when I go on a holiday, I should technically wear a parachute, shouldn't I? On a risk assessment level, because if shit goes down, I don't want to go down with it, even if it blows up. Might be silly having a parachute, but I'd like to think, just in case. You know what I mean? It's like having a packet of fucking Tic Tacs in it. You just might need them. But I don't. You live. I don't live in fear. If I lived in fear on any eventuality and build contingency plans and risk assessments for fucking everything, what would we be like? So I can't. There'll be days when I might catch a cold. There'll be days where I might catch something else. There'll be days where I might cut myself. There's a legitimate mitigation. When I was a glass cutter years ago, we used to wear gauntlets. That's a legitimate mitigation. Because the last thing you want when you're cutting stock sheets of 3mm, 8 foot by 4 foot pieces of glass, any of them shards hit your wrist. And I've got a scar. I've got a scar to prove it. There, right there. So that's happened. That's happened. So that is a logical and rational mitigation. But I can't over mitigate my life. Not that I want to live a risky life, but I'm on the probability level again. So as much as I know a plane could come down, I know the probability of it coming down, as opposed to how many planes have been manufactured, how many are in the air at any one time, as opposed to how many have malfunctions and then come down. And you'll find out it's a minuscule figure. So what do? Do you still go, fuck it, still mitigating? Give me my parachute. You know what? I'll go on the boat. The boat could sink. What are you going to do? Walk around with a life raft on? You know, it's... So I totally agree with you, Carol. And I love you for that. Because you can't... There's logical ones. I'm not, 10 men. But there's logical ones. And this... No, I've got to live my life. Yes. Well, Tracy. Meet Emma. Oh, hold on. Tracy. Meet Emma. Emma. Meet Tracy. Oh, Tracy's flipped up again. Well, there you go. Isn't this great? Isn't this great? It's like a little bloody coffee room here. Are you sat nicely? Having a nice little chat, are you? Oh, Carol, bless you. Bless you. Bless you. We're all trying to work crap out, aren't we? And as long as we stay rational and on a level, then we can just decipher it, make up your own mind. It's not for me telling you anything. It's just, what am I doing? Exercising my right to rant. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it, and no one can stop me. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure today. Spontaneous. This was the most spontaneous. Literally within an hour, I thought, fuck it, I'm doing it. So pardon my French. There will be one in the next few days near the weekend. So Rob, double O, don't forget, if you want in on that, I will give a reminder and I will leave it there. So do me a favor. If you can, people do leave a comment in that reminder. If you could do that for me, and then can maybe look at sending a link via whatever. If you want to jump in, if you don't, you don't. And that will be predominantly talking about UFOs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that. That will be mint. Thank you for your company, guys. Thank you for your patience and everything else with this channel. I love you all. I love you all. You stay safe, stay blessed, look after one another, and try to ensure that your kid doesn't become a covert human intelligence source for the raggedy-headed muppet. See y'all later. Even the pissinators.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.